Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be talking a little bit more about the Pilot Custom 823 as well as the Midori MD paper. So here I have a Traveler's Notebook system. This is a very well-loved system that was initially created by a company called Midori. It has since branched off to become under its own brand name called Traveler's Company, but all the inserts are made by Midori, which is a very famous stationery company. They specialize in fantastic papers. I almost feel like they don't get enough credit for their amazing paper that the Tomoe River paper usually gets from fountain pen enthusiasts. But today I'll just be talking a little bit about these two. First, because I thought they looked perfect together, because this is actually an amber color custom 823 and this is in the camel color cover. I paired it with an olive green rubber band because it just seemed to match, which is, makes total sense from color theory. And then I'm breaking in the notebook. So it says Traveler's Company here, which is really cute. They have amazing branding, design. It's really thoughtful. Actually, for the upcoming year, 2023, their theme is cafes. So Traveler's Company, travelers in general, we love cafes. We love the idea of sitting in a cafe, writing about your travels, notes, or just so maybe some urban sketching. I haven't done any urban sketching recently or since I was a kid, but I think that's something that would be kind of cool. So I'm not an artist, I'm not a professional artist, and I think there's something about this notebook that makes you feel like a traveler. Maybe it's just like the simplicity of it and the way you could just buy a new refill to swap it in so you don't have to buy a whole new book. Then you can see the cover kind of age with time, with travels, and you can kind of say, oh, this notebook has actually been with me for all my travels, but you'll never run out of pages because you can always just refill them, but you can still have the nostalgia of bringing this around to different places. So I thought I would get started. I do want to know it does not lay flat. I see why people buy that clip. I don't have that clip, so I guess I'll just have to hold it down. I'll use my flower. It's a little distracting. Let me see. Oh, I'll use my coaster. All right, that's much better. All right, so today I'll be talking about the combination of a great pen, great paper, and the idea of analog systems. So, a great pen really can inspire you to write. I was watching a really cool vlog by Blomkuchen, which is a stationery studio shop. I definitely recommend their channel and I'll link them down below. But the thought of a pen journaling as floating inward, which I just thought was such a lovely concept. I just wanted to capture that. Float inward. Because we have such rich inner thoughts and minds, and if we don't take time to sit with them, observe them, put them onto paper, which is like a great visual example of mindfulness and being able to observe your thoughts actually laid out, we might be missing some gems, or we might miss the opportunity to process something that we've been grappling with, or something that we want to achieve in our lives, or just like some of those micro emotions that we go through that we might not quite have the words for, but if we kind of see a bunch of other ideas kind of pieced together, it kind of gives more of a solid feeling to those thoughts that just feel very, very elusive to us. So I love the idea of floating inward and using a journal to kind of help with that. So a great notebook paired with a great pen. So far this paper is really nice. It is the bright white paper. I know Midori also makes the cream paper, which I really like as well, and I can show you the difference. I actually have just the plain MD notebook right here. Just wanted to share the different colors. I actually like the cream more. I think the cream would have worked better. This blank one just comes with the Traveler's Notebook system, but the cream is much easier on the eyes, especially if you're writing by a bright window or you're writing outside. So just wanted to share some differences. And a fountain pen helps you slow down. And this is one of my favorite fountain pens. I know that, not everyone is interested in fountain pens, and that's totally fine, but there's something about how this pen feels in your hand that makes you want to write for longer sessions, which is just, a longer time of floating inward, observing, seeing your own thoughts. So a fountain pen also is refillable, so you can actually keep it for longer. It's kind of a great pairing with this traveler system. Can be with you for many years. Like a stable companion. And all you would have to do is perhaps switch out the ink. If you do need to fix it up, you can probably find parts for it. So it has more of that, I guess, nostalgic or vintage feel where you don't need to constantly replace it with another pen. You can just have this pen to bring you on your travels. And it's similar to this because all you would have to do here is get a refill. They call them refills, which is really cute, but it's really just another notebook that you can plop right in. And then in some ways that gives you the longevity of having something that's been with you through many things. Traveler's Notebook. Accompany you through different adventures. I personally think Traveler's Notebook and the fountain pen community, the fountain pen world, it just seems to match up really well. I'm really glad I also got this in brown because now I feel like it really matches. Maybe I just need brown ink or amber ink in this. So I just wanted to share that. A great pen can inspire you in ways to go inward. There's kind of a standard or status quo now where everyone's just kind of out and about, constantly just, consuming digitally, consuming from the world. But it does help sometimes if we just take a pause, go inward with our pens, papers, and analog systems and see where that goes. And now I wanted to bring up the next thought is there ever a concept of grail pen? Grail pen? Planner piece? So planner piece is this cute terminology from the planner community where you're kind of constantly searching for the planner that makes you feel perfectly at peace every year. And I don't know if that will ever exist because everyone's lives are always changing. So what you would need from it will also change. And grail pen, I also believe, doesn't quite exist because your needs are constantly changing as well. So if your needs are constantly changing, you might not be able to have just one pen that's going to be a grail pen for the rest of your life. For example, if I were in the office, I wouldn't take this pen with me because it's just not super convenient for writing. I'll be scared that, something would happen to it or things like that. I would probably take just like a, I don't know, maybe like a gel pen with me. That doesn't mean this is not my grail pen or this is my grail pen. It's just different circumstances would bring attention to you using a different pen. Same with planners, same with notebooks. So I love the idea that it could be called an analog process, which I am also inspired by the Baumkuchen series on YouTube. They call it analog process instead of an analog system. So not planner system, analog system. It's a process, and the process evolves. So analog is kind of the flip of digital, so it's everything that you're using a little more tactilely in person. And I love the idea of analog evolution. Things are going to evolve, and that's okay. And we don't need to put so many different rules for what we must do something with a notebook, how we must get something from a certain pen. I know this time of year is very exciting because that's when all the planners are coming out for 2023. Fall is just such a great time, back to school, planners coming out, everyone's kind of quieting down from the excitement of summer, the bustling and going a little bit more inward. And you're kind of thinking, which planner should I get or what notebook should I get? Everyone is seeing all these different planners and notebooks and pens. I mean, pens is eternal. Like fountain pen community is nonstop with these launches of limited editions, things like that. But there's never quite a grail pen because our circumstances are constantly changing. So we don't need to put so much pressure on ourselves. We can see what works for us in the moment, and if not, we can always pivot. Of course, it's nice to have something if you've said like, oh, I love when people have stories like, oh, I've had this pen since I was a kid, or I got this pen from my grandparent, or something like that is really sweet. And that's an evolution of that artifact or that analog piece going to its new life. So we don't need to push so much pressure on ourselves to find the perfect analog pen, paper. We can just kind of enjoy the journey, have it go with us when we need to, fix it up if we find out that, oh, it's not working exactly what I need. And just use it to gather your thoughts, to capture it into a notebook, paper that will make you contemplate and flow inward a little more inside the own richness of our lives. So I just want to share that with everyone, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.